Ruto must go! Ruto must go!
Ruto must go! Ruto must go! Ruto must go!
That's all right. Nice.
Thank you.
We have to. Space because we are next to all the institutions that are enabling William Ruto to enforce this toxic tax policy. The IMF, the US Congress, Biden's administration. You saw the whining and dining that Biden did for William Ruto right here across here at the White House a couple of weeks ago. So we will be putting them to account. The 7 congressmen who are at Kenya's parliament when the finance bill was being debated, we are putting you on notice because you have to explain, you have to release an unredacted report on what exactly you are doing in Kenya. So karibuni sana, we expect to have a good time out here at the parliament. Asante. Asanteni sana comes duty. Reject Finance Bill 2024. Wow, this second one has so much going on. Control, Alt, Delete. The bill and will. Okay, all right, that's a good one. We don't have a revenue problem. We have a wastage and corruption problem. Prosecute the abductors and murderers of Gen Zers. Okay, all right, and I can see the names of all the fallen soldiers. We are going to be talking about them. We're going to hold a minute or two silence for them. And I can see another one that says, reject Finance Bill 2024. Justice to Gen Z killed by police. And not of fallen soldiers. We're going to be talking about them. Then one says, dear fallen Kenyans, viva and luta continua. Very simple, straight to the point. And then this one here says, when home isn't home anymore, killer of non-armed, oh wow, okay, these are hashtags. Well, killer of an armed citizen, Ruto must go. So that's a good one right there. And we want to thank, like people from the Howard University family that are here in the building, or maybe we're not in the building, we are actually outside. We're outside the building, we're outside. So thank you so much for coming through. I can see different nationalities already here. I can see Ghana, I can see Malawi, I can see a number of places, and if there's any other country, please let us know so that we can acknowledge you.
And USA.
USA, of course, we can never forget USA. We can never forget USA, they always support us. And then we have another one that says, I love this one. It says, no to creative distraction, no to budgeted corruption. The Kenya, the Kenya revolution is here. The Kenyan revolution is here. So no to creative destruction, no to budgeted corruption. Budgeted corruption is a big one. That's what's really killing us. And then I see another one says, Ruto, your uncle's regime abducted my father. So this is now getting very, very personal. Stop abducting my brothers. We are really sorry for your father getting abducted. This is very, very personal. Some of those pictures of people being abducted, I've been getting messages. Oh, I know this guy. So this is very personal. Another one says, Zakayo Shuka. Zakayo Shuka. So Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Okay, and I like this one here. This one here is very simple. It says, stop killing children. Oh my goodness. And it's children who are holding them. Stop killing children. And thank you so much to those who bring out their children here, because it's important to get started. Like when this protest was starting way back in the 90s, nobody knew that the people who were kids then are the ones who are going to be out here leading the protests today, because these things are still going on. And then this other one, I love this other one. It says, dialogue ni wewe, kuja space. And that's what I like about this revolution. The days of calling a delegation, call your leaders, let's go to State House, we are saying no to that. is there anybody who agrees with sending delegations to State House? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. And Ruto must
Go.
Ruto must
Go.
Ruto must
Go.
All right. So today we're also going to be having an open mic session. Like anyone who wants to say anything, feel free to come along. I'm going to call up, like one of the partners that we've been working with here, Val, to say something, and then we're going to open it up to everyone else. Tell us how you feel, tell us what you think. Things have been moving so fast in Kenya. Like today I've not been on the media because we were planning for this, but things have been moving so fast. I'm hearing that the president was on TV and there were certain things that he was saying that people don't like tonight. So we are going to be talking about that. And if you have your friends who are still on the way, tell them to come along. The weather is not as bad as it was last week. And I want to thank you all for coming here. Zakayo?
Shuka.
Zakayo?
Shuka.
Haya, mkaribisheni Val na makofi tafadhali.
Comrades, we need power, okay? Comrades, 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 Ruto must
Go!
Ruto must
Go!
Ruto must
Go!
Thank you so much for coming. Like Ali said, things may change, okay? When our brothers and sisters, sometime the last couple of weeks, were marching down the streets of Nairobi, they only had one goal: to reject the finance bill. They wanted the government to hear them, to hear us. But the legislature and the executive decided that their voices are irrelevant. Amasio. Yeah. Then on top of that, the president decided to hold a speech where he called the whole, everyone who was protesting, because it became bigger than the zillennials, millennials, Gen Z and Gen X. He decided to call them treasoners, to call us criminals, to call us terrorists. And he went ahead and deployed the Kenyan Defense Forces. So the president looked at us in our eyes and said that, Ansama Tusita, 6 people had died, right? When he was 23 at that moment. And on top of that, the government continues to deny the fact that there are 200 plus women, children, men who have been massacred in Githurai and Rongai. As we stand here today, our fellow comrades have been abducted. Personally, I know someone who has been abducted. So this is what we are telling Ruto. I know you're making a speech right now. We know you. We've learned from you. And we're not stepping down. On top of that, this guy has said that he's totally ignorant. That the fact that he doesn't know about the kid who was killed. He keeps saying that the kid who was killed by a protester. Anatubeba ujinga aje. Comrades, 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 comrades. And we want to also tell the government that we don't want this nonsensical, diabolical, multi-structural committee. Kama anataka kuongea na Gen X, Gen Z, millennials, he has to do it the new way on a neutral ground. Twitter, TikTok, sijukata to invite see what a State House twende atuongeleshe. But we want accountability. We also want the bodies that have been taken to be returned to the parents. Another thing we want is the police officers. We want to see all of them to be arrested. Amaje, comrades, power! Manze, comrades, power! Comrades, power! Comrades, power! This is not the time to fear, because if we give this man a chance, you know what he's gonna do? He's gonna go back to the chessboard. Yes. And then he's gonna come out of this stronger and more powerful and more tactical. Itakuwa more dangerous. Itakuwa zile time ya moi before you even
2 years after the president is sworn in, or after the members of parliament are sworn in, you can start recalling your members of parliament. 2 years is going to be lapsing in September of 2024. which is a few months away. So there's a number of members of parliament we want to recall. And I don't know whether you have your member of parliament that you want to recall, but there are some who are known by the whole country. We're going to start with Nairobi County. In Nairobi County, there's this guy, maybe you guys can remind me his name, there's this guy who used to play Kamodo on TV. He was a comedian. Yes. What is his name? John Kiari. Dagoretti South, member of parliament. Akwende asikwende.
Akwende.
Ashuke asishuke.
Ashuke.
Atoke asitoke.
Atoke.
Now we forgive him. We forgive him. He apologizes. Okay, no apologies accepted. Okay, so alright, so KJ, if you have relatives in Dagoretti South, he's not doing it by himself. There's a lot of people who are helping him. Now, there's also another member of parliament in Nairobi. I heard that that this guy owns some club in somewhere in Nairobi. He's also the owner of a popular gambling company. Hebu munikumbushe jina yake. Sports Pesa. What's the name of that member of parliament?
Kamwiko.
Kamwiko. And by the way, Kamwiko is his real name. His name is Ronald
Kamwiko.
Karauri. Akule mwiko asikule.
Akule mwiko.
Asitoke.
Atoke.
Ashuke asishuke. Alright, so those are just there's quite a number of people who've been enabling our president, Bani. So, Ronald Karauri also coolers a red card. Yeah, and if you know of any member of parliament that you're thinking about, that maybe you've not heard about, that you want to call, yeah, please feel free to remind me. Umesema anaitwaje? Anaitwaje? Kasudi. Ashuke asishuke.
Ashuke.
Akwende asikwende.
Akwende.
Atoke asitoke. Ruto must
go.
Ruto must go. Ruto must go. All right. Okay, hebu tuambie kuna mbunge kutoka Nakuru pia mnataka ende. Nani huyo? Samuel Alama. Ni mbunge wa constituency gani?
Nakuru Town West. Nakuru Town West.
So Samuel Alama ni anaitwaje tena?
Samuel Arama.
Samuel Arama. Okay, ashuke asishuke. Atoke asitoke. Akwende asikwende. Now, there are also some members of parliament who decided to miss in action on the most important day of voting for a very contentious bill that was gonna change lives of Kenyans in a negative way. Now, one of those members of parliament, jina yake ni, he used to be a journalist. Alikuwa anafanya, you know, like some investigative series. Anaitwaje? Oh, ni Jicho Mbovu. Okay, si Jicho Pevu. Okay. So, akwende asikwende.
Akwende.
Atoke asitoke.
Atoke.
Ashuke asishuke.
Ashuke.
We have the first person here. Okay, makofi kwake, makofi tafadhali. Yeah, this guy looks very Kenyan. I've not seen someone who looks more Kenyan than him.
The killing must stop.
Yes.
Ruto must go.
Yes.
Corruption needs to stop also.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen.
All right, thank you so much. What's your name, sir?
Dan. Name's Dan. I'm from Maryland.
We can't hear you.
Dan is my name. And I'm from Elkton, Maryland. Ruto must go.
Yes.
Ruto must go. Ruto must
Go.
Amen.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dan.
And the president doesn't have the guts to address that personally. He goes to a church service, which he did this morning, and just spoke about how the bill is good for the country and everything, and then had a round table that he was asked about the 12-year-old boy who was shot 8 times. And he said, the first thing he said shocked me. I was listening to it while driving here to the protest. He was asked, so what's your reaction to the 12-year-old boy who was shot 8 times? His first reaction was, isn't he still alive? And then after they said, no, he's not, he's dead, his second response was, he must have been killed by one of the protesters who stole the gun from the police. He didn't even have any accountability to say, oh, condolences to the family, to the mother who lost her 12-year-old son for no reason. I don't think that 12-year-old boy was in parliament like breaking things or burning buildings. I don't think so. He didn't deserve to die, and he's not accountable. William Ruto is not accountable for his actions at all. Another thing was the abductions, like for Alfred Ketel this morning. I'm sure you guys have seen that video. He was abducted in Lavington in broad daylight, and we have the video online. And his wife and child was screaming. And Ruto was asked about that in the round table as well. And he said maybe the police have been looking for him, and he didn't turn himself in, so they went after him. That was his response. He doesn't care. He's arrogant. And then
they accused him of arms dealing.
And then the arms deal, there's so many things that we're going to get into today, but the thing that all of us have to know is that Ruto must go. And another thing, the Gen Zs have been protesting the whole week. Instead of listening to them, he wants to open a 100-person committee, I don't know, plus adding the church, and I don't know who's going to appoint that committee. That's not going to help the youth. He's completely ignoring us. And then he's wondering why people are protesting and are breaking into parliament, and why people are mad all over the country. The thing is, when a fruit is rotten, and I have a question for you guys. When a fruit is rotten, do you take out the small pieces that are still good, or do you throw the whole thing away?
Throw the whole thing.
Yeah, let me ask it again. When a fruit is rotten, a banana, an orange, whatever, if it's rotten, do you start taking out small pieces and eating that, or do you throw the whole thing away?
The whole bunch.
Yes, and this government is rotten, and there's no reason why we should still keep putting up with it. We are the people, and we have the power. Like Val was saying, when we lose our fear, they lose their power. And once they realize that, they will know Kenyans were chasing, na watu si wajinga. Ama nadanganya. Yeah, other than that, the dialogue can't be had until justice is served and the people are heard. We can't have any dialogue and people are still dying and you're not addressing it, you're brushing it off, you're talking about price ya unga. And you're not telling about price ya unga. A 12-year-old boy was shot 8 times. Nobody cares about the price of unga right now. You have to address the people and calm the nation if you actually want to stay in office. If not, you must go. That's our terms, and that's simple. And then there's this video of Honorable Kioni that he says that I really like, so I'm gonna end with that. And I say, Ruto lies all the time, and all the time Ruto lies, and that is his nature. Ndio haya tuseme mpaka watusikie huko Kenya. Ruto lies all the time, and all the time Ruto lies, and that is his nature. Thank you. My brother Kevin, if you want to say anything, welcome to the mic. Anyone else who wants to step up, welcome. Asante.
All right, karibishani Kelvin na makofi. Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Haya, sawa, karibu sana Kelvin.
Wakenya Wakenya Wakenya. So we are here to call the government into accountability. We are telling the government you have failed in leading and governing the country, and that's why we are witnessing what you are witnessing today. We are telling Mr. William Ruto, this is the painting that you've been painting for the 2 years. You've been painting on a canvas, and this is what you've painted. So if you are not pleased with it, then you need to go back to the drawing board and understand what you need to change. We are asking Mr. William Ruto that we need him to stop monopolizing the parliament. The MPs are voted to represent the will of the people in their constituents and not to represent the will of one master. So we are asking Mr. William Ruto, let Bunge legislate, let Bunge deliver as per the wishes of the people. And we are also asking Mr. William Ruto to stop abducting us. We are a country that is governed by the rule of law, and Chapter 88 of the Constitution, Chapter 4 warrants the freedom of speech, and consequently Chapter 88 warrants for the protection against any torture, whether physical or mental. So we are telling Mr. William Ruto, stop abducting us. We live in a free country where freedom of expression is warranted. And we are also calling, we are asking Mr. William Ruto, you just dispatched 100 policemen into Haiti, and you needed to call for the backup of the defense forces. Yet you are supposed to supply 1,000 of them. So do you think we are at a place where we can foster security in other regions before we can even foster security back at home?
We call a military.
Yeah, we don't need the military. The military As per the constitution, they have their own mandates and roles that they're supposed to play. So let them leave the military alone and deal with your own mess. Thank you.
Alright, asante sana Kevin na Kenya.
Pia kugenea haki yao. Kulingana na hiyo bill, kama mtu yoyote alisoma, there's so much that we Kenyans are taking for granted, especially our ancestral land. Can you imagine your ancestral land being taken by an America? Because that's what he's saying. Why are we having a freeload? Why are we having leasing in our ancestral land? And why are we being taxed? And why are we letting this going on? Since Ruto came into power, almost 2 years, we've really been silent. When they tried before Kuongea in 2023, we saw what happened.
Na Kenya
Eh.
A Kenya.
Ah.
A Kenya
Eh.
A Kenya.
Ah.
DJ speak about uko tayari na mziki, you know, like there's a number of protest songs that have been ringing loud, you know, like during this process. Akwende asikwende, atoke asitoke, ashuke asishuke. What about Hindi Nyororo? Akwende asikwende, atoke asitoke, ashuke asishuke. Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Now, Samuel Arama pia ende. Samuel Arama must go. Samuel Arama must go. Nani mwingine ende? Huo ni mbunge wapi? Okay, mbunge wa Olkalao atoke asitoke. Shuke asishuke. Akwende asikwende. Okay, na je
Send the bill. Ruto's waiting for it on the
The Gen Z that I support them, and especially back home, who have created a wave that is like no other. I'm proud. I'm proud to say I have Kenyan blood running in me. And that fire definitely got ignited within the last 2 weeks. It made me research a lot about Kenya and where I'm from, and it made me get closer to what it means to be one people. So shout out to the Gen Z, and I also want to say I'm here to fight with y'all. I'm here to fight with my Kenyan people against the regime, against the systems that oppress, as is felt here by other black people as well. So yeah, power to the people. Power to the people!
Alright, thank you so much, thank you so much. So I can see everybody in different generations, especially the Kenyans who were born in the US, because that's a group that's sometimes a little bit neglected in as far as Kenyan issues are concerned. There is a very dangerous assumption that's made that they don't care about what's happening in Kenya because they were born here and they were raised here. But to my surprise, so many of them are following up what's going on in Kenya, what's happening in Kenya, and they want to be part of this revolution that's happening right now. Ruto must go! Ruto must go! Ruto must go! All right, all right. right, I'm going to give an opportunity to a couple of other people to speak here. And this is an open mic session. Anyone who wants to say anything, you want to give your member of parliament a red card, you want to give a government official a red card, or just anything that you want to say, people who are personally affected. We've already talked to someone whose father was one of the people who was abducted. I know people whose cousins, whose relatives have been abducted. So please, feel free. This is your moment. Remember, those of us who are here in the DMV, we have a very high responsibility, because the institutions that are responsible for Ruto's enforcement of these toxic policies are right here behind us. The International Monetary Fund, the White House. You guys saw how he was wined and dined. I don't know, I hope none of you took part in that shenanigan that was out there in the White House. If you did, we forgive you. If we did, you didn't know. If we did, we forgive you. Some are saying you gotta be close to the enemy, and I like that. And what I like about this movement is that it's tribeless, it's partyless, it's fearless, and then they also said it's marriage-less and leaderless. Yes, because they said Gen Z is the only thing they fear is marriage. They don't fear anything else. Okay, let me give a chance to Val to say something, and then to tutaendelea.
Just a moment of silence for the fallen heroes. We have some of the names, not all the names, so if you have some of the names that are missing for the first 24, just put them in the WhatsApp group. Moment of silence.
Let's say their names. Yeah.
So we can one by one say their names.
Or as a collective, or
The first fallen hero, Rex Masai.
Rex Masai.
Say his name.
Say his name.
Rex Masai.
Dr. Margaret Oyuga.
Dr. Margaret Oyuga.
Nick Adams.
Nick Adams.
Ian Kea.
Ian Kea.
Edwin Otieno.
Edwin Otieno.
Beasley Kamau.
Beasley Kamau.
Credo Oyaro.
Credo Oyaro.
Evans Kiratu.
Evans Kiratu.
Frank Okoth.
Frank Okoth.
David Chege.
David Chege.
Belinda Acheng.
Belinda Acheng.
Eric Shini.
Eric Shini.
Erickson Motisia.
Erickson Motisia.
Emmanuel Tata.
Emmanuel Tata.
Ibrahim Kamau.
Ibrahim Kamau.
Comrades!
Yeah.
Comrades!
Yeah.
Comrades!
Yeah.
Comrades!
Ah.
Comrades!
Yeah.
Comrades!
Ah.
We need more energy. Imagine there are people who've been tear gassed, people who've been massacred. Sisi tuko kwa shed na tuko na maskari.
Personal. Because of this, I come from somewhere where the member of parliament anaitwa Sudi. Sudi anaenda kila Sunday anapeana 20 million kwa kanisa na watu wake wanalala njaa. Alafu mwingine anaitwa Mandago. Unajua Mandago alifanya nini? Mandago alisema hivi, okay, Ruto alisema the problem, the way we are going to save the country ni kupeleka watu waje Germany, right? Okay, hata tutaki hiyo cause I don't want to be here. I'm not going to lie to you. I want to be home. We all want to be home, but we wanted to get better opportunities and it happened, right? So, you know what? Ruto akasema, okay, tuwapea form ya kwenda Germany, tukasema sawa, tutafutie moja. Akasema ndo watafutia Finland na tutatumia county government na nani? Na Mandago. So, mimi yangu ni personal sababu one of my cousins pia ali apply.
10,000 families wali apply, wakauza kila kitu, wakauza mashamba, wameuza kila kitu wako nayo nyumba, because wanasema wacha tuwe mtoto wetu huko hivi atasaidiana, right? Mandago took 1 billion Kenyan shillings. 1 billion. And guess what? Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Hiyo ndo government ya Ruto. Alafu anatuambia saa hizi anasema nini? After kuiba anasema ndo apeleka Germany sasa. Kwani sisi ni wajinga? Ati ameiba ile, alafu anasema tune ingine ni kupeleke Germany. Kwani sisi ni nani? Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Na hii Kenya si yake, Kenya ni yetu. Kenya si yake. Kenya is for Kenyans. Look, kama sasa okay, tuseme ingekuwa mtu mmoja anasema Ruto must go, yeye anakubali. But when you have 30 million people wakutaki, are we the problem or you the problem? Ama? Ai, kwani tuna akili bwana. Ai. Wait, tunasema Ruto must go, mpaka hiyo government yote tunaanzia kutoka chini mpaka juu. Sawa? Tunaanzia huyo Sudi na tunaenda mpaka Ruto. Unaniachia huyo by the way ikifika. Uniachie Ruto sawa?
Okay, asante sana. You know, I'm going to introduce the next speaker, but before I do that, there are so many people right here in this country in America who've been complicit and allowed Ruto to do what he's doing. One of them is Meg Jerotich Whitman. Akwende asikwende, atoke asitoke, ashuke asishuke. So Ambassador Meg Whitman, she disappeared from the scene from when this protest started. Allegedly, people said she was evacuated from the country. She's the one who's been hobnobbing with Ruto across the world. Amekuwa akizunguka naye, akija naye huku US. Do you know the recent state visit that Ruto made? Meg Whitman was personally inviting people to events, and you wonder, is this a Kenyan state visit or is it an American state visit? The other thing that people don't remember, Ambassador Meg Whitman was one of the first people to say the election in 2022 was credible while the election was still being contested in court. So this is election interference. And let me tell you something. Because of all the whining and dining and the hobnobbing you saw Ruto and his administration doing here, remember, a state visit is the highest expression of soft power by the Americans. And we know very well, when the Americans give you something, when they give you something, they want something in return. So Ruto has already started paying back. You saw the other day, 400 of our police officers, it was 200, 200 of our police officers was sent to Haiti. I think they're gonna get barbecued. And I'm not just saying this. Oh, 7 have died already? Okay. You know, I've not been on the news today. But this is very dangerous. Haitians are our brothers and sisters, and we should not be going there to do Americans' work. The other thing that Ruto has already started paying back, because when Americans give you money, you have to pay back in bigger return. You know the conflict that's going on in Gaza right now? Kenya has already been assigned to adjudicate on rebels who are going to get caught in the Red Sea. It's already a done deal. It's already a done deal, and word has it, this is not official yet, that America wants the Kenyan Navy to go to the Red Sea and fight with the rebels. That is very dangerous. Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Ruto must go. And all the American enablers. Meg Whitman must go. Meg Whitman must go. Meg Whitman must go. Okay, I'm going to take this opportunity to invite Mkawasi Mcharo. She's one of the people who's been in the struggle here with us. She's going to give us a backdrop, because this Gen Z revolution that's happening today, there was another one that was happening before, and we've been here with the struggle with Ms. Mkawasi. Mkawasi, karibu sana. Makofi tafadhali sana kwa Mkawasi. Oh, you have yours. Okay, you came prepared. Okay, thank you.
This tells you that I've been on this rodeo many times. So the last time we were here, actually I had this on, and they had just killed baby Pendo, who at that time happened to be the youngest victim of police brutality in elections violence. So we took to the streets, we marched down a mile from 16th Street up there, and all the way down. We had to go to the Gianda. We were hoping for 1,000 people. 7 of us showed up. and police cars were lined all up. And they asked us, where are the rest? We said it's just us. They told us to go back. And this place was filled with more police than us. So that's the last time we were here. But sasa mimi na wavulia kofia. Our kids, you got it. You have it. We are done. We have given it to you. You have shown that you can do it. Mimi na wavulia kofia.
Accountable. I think ni Alistege alisema ati she has stolen enough money that she doesn't need to be elected in 2027. If we imagine the kind of politicians we're dealing with. The kind of politicians, exactly, Kiburi, the kind of politicians who tell us that Gen Z are the ones who are eating KFC and using Uber. Shida iko wapi wakitumia KFC na wakikula KFC na watumie Uber? So we have a very, very, very big problem and we can't be silent. We can't just be also keyboard warriors. We have a lot of power here in the DMV. You know, if there is a way you can commit, the LSK has wakona pay bill number. Your pay bill number ndo wanatumia for those who have been arrested to get them out of jail.
Well, the same way we talk about like okay, so once a liar, always a liar. Yes. A leopard will never ever change its stripes. Hata umpake rangi, akinyeshewa, ye ni yule yule. Our problem is education, and I think that's what Gen Z has taught us, is that we didn't, myself included, read enough of the political, you know? Lendo kasome udaktari ukachi hapo, but we need to understand our issues and our real issues. Go deep and study. But tusiachi hapo, turudi kwa wazazi, to educate. And I'm so proud to be a Kenyan in this moment in the DMV. Ningekuwa huko hata mimi ningekuwa huko nikitiagasiwa. Thank God hapa wako polite. Nasema ningekuwa home, ningekuwa kwa streets pia mimi nikitiagasiwa. But asante hapa wako tu sawa, wako tu sawa. But I'm so proud to see our Gen Alpha pia wao wamekuja maandamano, ni kuonesha even as we go into 2027 and all other elections, red card imekuwa issued kwa kila mtu. Ukikuja unakuwa rejected. Na wenye tunasema yes, we are going to vote 2027, either uanze kuweka kapigi back kako vizuri sahi. Sisi wote 2027 tukue na agenda ya kwenda nyumbani na kuvote. If you are not able to come and vote here in our we make sure we come out and vote. I didn't do it in 2022 and I will do it next time. But yes, Ruto must go.
Ruto must go.
Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Is a Democrat from Florida. His name is Van Buchanan. Akwende asikwende.
Akwende.
Ashuke asishuke.
Ashuke.
Atoke asitoke.
Atoke.
So if you know anyone from Florida, we're going to be sharing with you the details. Please endeni mkamsalimie pale kwa social media. Call their office, leave voicemails. We're going to be sharing these numbers in the group. They've been shared. We're going to keep sharing them. And of course, someone is telling me that there's free water in the back. We want people to stay hydrated. It's a very hot day. There's also Gatorade. It's a very hot day, so stay hydrated. So while we're issuing red cards, we're also going to stay hydrated. So Van Buchanan, Democrat, Florida, please Google him, go visit him on his social media handles.
What did he do?
They were in parliament. They were in parliament during the debate of the finance bill, and there was some partnership. They talked about, they said something to the effect that they are in some partnership with our lawmakers, and they could not quite explain what exactly they were doing. So we need to salimia them. The next one on the list is unfortunately one of us. She's a black woman. She's a Democrat from Wisconsin. Her name is Gwen Moore. Akwende asikwende. Atoke asitoke. Ashuke asishuke. Yes, so kabisa, like is our Kenyan custom. We are going to find them on social media. We'll give them a polite greeting. Unajua the way Kenyans like kusalimia watu be polite. And our demand is that they release an unredacted report of what exactly they were doing in the Kenyan parliament when the most contentious financial bill was being debated. The next representative She's a Democrat from California. Her name is Barbara Lee. Akwende asikwende. Atoke asitoke. Ashuke asishuke. You know, like it's our custom. Tutaenda, tutawasalimia. Polite greetings. They have to release an unredacted report telling us what exactly they were doing in Kenya during the debate of the most contentious finance bill, and they were recognized by Speaker Moses Wetangula. We need to find out exactly what they were doing there. The next rep that we're giving a red card is from Michigan. He's a Democrat. His name is Dan Kildee. Akwende asikwende. Atoke asitoke. Ashuke asishuke. All right. The next one is a Republican from Illinois. So this is bipartisan. It's across the board. It's all parties. It's not only Democrats, it's Republicans too. And these are the people who are sanitizing and enabling Ruto. But all they need to do for us to stop giving them red cards is release an unredacted report of what exactly you're doing in Kenya's parliament when very pertinent issues that are affecting Kenyans are being discussed. So the name of this one, a Republican from Illinois, is Darren Lahoud. Akwende asikwende. Atoke asitoke. Ashuke asishuke. All right, so the next one, there are so many of them, you know, like, I don't know, maybe they're just gone to Masai Mara and then they decide to drop by in parliament, I don't know. But they need to tell us. But they need to tell us what exactly they were doing in Kenya's parliament. The next one is a Republican from Florida. His name is Neil Dunn. Akwende asikwende. Atoke asitoke. Ashuke asishuke. All right, so as is our custom, you all know what you need to do. Google him, find their social media handles, go and salimia them. Just tell them that we need an unredacted report of what exactly they were doing in Kenya. That bill was being debated, has resulted in the death of more than 20 Kenyans. Apparently, I'm being told it could even be more than 200 Kenyans who've lost their lives. So we are going to find out. You can see some of the names here. The other one, who we are going to be giving a red card today, is a Republican from Texas. Hey, na Texas, kuna watu wa Texas hapa? Kuna watu wa Texas? Yes, there's a lot of Kenyans. Texas, oye! Okay, so this Republican from Texas, his name is Jody Arrington. Akwende asikwende. Atoke asitoke. Ashuke asishuke. As you know, as is our custom, tutaenda, tutafanya nini? Tutawasalimia. We go politely greet them, ask them politely, you know, if you guys just happen to be going to Masai Mara and then you decided to pass by parliament, please release an unredacted report of what you are doing in Kenya when a bill that was being debated that has resulted in the death of more than 20 Kenyans. In some estimates, people are saying probably more than 200 Kenyans have died. The last US member of Congress that we're going to be giving a red card, the name is from, is actually a Republican from Georgia. His name is Drew Ferguson. Akwende asikwende. Atoke asitoke. Ashuke asishuke. And as you know, as our custom, tutaenda pale Twitter, ama siku hizi inaitwaje? X. Yeah, pale X. Tutaenda, tutawasalimia. We're just going to politely ask them, release an unredacted report. If you guys were just going to Masai Mara to see giraffes, to see elephants, and then you happen to just pass by parliament to salimia our members of parliament, let us know. We need a full unredacted report. Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Ruto must go. All right, I'm going to give an opportunity to someone else to speak here. Remember, this is an open mic session. This is going to be your only opportunity, and we're going to be playing some music shortly. But I'm going to give an opportunity to someone to speak here. Please introduce yourself. Tell us your name, what part of the country you come from here in the US, and what you have to say today. Karibu sana.
Habari zenu. Naitwa Robert Malongo, mkaaji wa hapa DMV. Nimefurahi sana kuwaona na nimefurahia movement ya Gen Z wametuletea. We join this liberation to liberate our country. We will fight. Hatuta relent. We will fight. This guy, naongea about Ruto, amekuwa na 2 years. 2 years hajafanya nothing. Alafu anatuambia tukae chini tuongee. Tuongee nini? Time's up. Get out. Toka.
Akitoka, members of parliament need to go. Watoke waende. Na wakienda, we want a lifestyle audit. Tutatabulate, tuone how much they've earned. Ile pesa ingine yote wako nayo tunachukua. Through any means, we need our money back. We don't stop there. Tukiendelea, judiciary, there's so much corruption for judiciary. People need to be held accountable. There's some people who shouldn't even be working in judiciary. Hiyo lo degree walipata ichomwe, watoke huko. We want people that have honor serving in our judiciary. How can a case take 13 years to solve? How? Kenyans, let's wake up. Gen Zs wametuamsha, tuendeni pamoja. Well, we're did sasa tukimaliza kabisa. Nyayo House, passports. Yes. Guys, passports. Kuna middleman. How can a middleman help you get a passport? That's a document you get. It's between you and the government. Our middlemen, si ati wanajifanyia, msidanganywe. They work for those cabinet secretaries. Wanachukua kati yao, ile ya juu imebaki, wanapatia 80% of this cabinet secretary. That's why these guys spend so much money around.
Ruto must go.
Ruto must go. To stay together, we stay relentless. We fight this fight until they're all gone. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Makofi kwa Bwana Malongo.
Go now. Ruto must go now. Ruto must go now. Wamama tunasema Ruto must go now. Ruto cannot continue to kill our children. Ruto, you are not normal in your head.
No.
You are talking about buildings and millions, and you don't see our children are dying on the road. Mimi nawakilisha wamama. Nasema Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Ruto wewe ni muuaji. Ruto wewe ni mwizi. Ruto kichwa yako si mzuri. You need to go to Mathare Mental Hospital. Ruto wewe ni mwendazimu. Ruto tunakuita wewe Ruto shuka. Ruto shuka. Ruto anguka. And ICC Ruto. We don't need you. Kenyans need another leader who is sober. We need somebody who cares for the lives of Kenyans. Today I heard myself, Ruto saying he didn't care about that little boy who had so many bullets on his body. Anaulizwa anasema, angalia millions zenye tumelose. Ruto umeiba millions ngapi? Ruto umeiba millions ngapi? Umeiba pesa mingi. Ruto shuka. Ruto shuka. Ruto shuka. Shuka. I am talking from Washington DC. I am a mother crying every day now. I'm saying Gen Zs, thank you. Thank you Gen Zs. Hata wengine wakikufa, mtaokoa nchi yetu. Sisi mimi naitwa Gen X. Angalia hiyo Gen X. Gen X, we are supporting Gen Zs. Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Ruto must go. And Ruto must go now. We cannot see any more lives going down. Ruto must go now. Ruto is inhuman. Mwizi. Ana utu hata kidogo. Ruto anaulizwa umeona Wakenya wamekufa njiani? Anasema hapana. Ameona millions na buildings. Ruto ni mwendazimu. Ni mwendazimu, sio mwendazimu. Ni mwendazimu. Ruto tunakutuma Mathare, nenda ukapimwe. Ruto nenda Mathare ukapimwe. Hauna akili timamu. Tunasema sisi wa mama, and I am talking on behalf of many other wamama, widows who are crying over their children. I am saying Ruto must go. Ruto must go. We don't need Ruto in our Kenya today. No. Ruto anapeana mashamba ya Kenya. Unajua anapeana mashamba. Gen Zs mtaishi wapi? Mashamba zinaenda kwa Arabu, zinaenda kwa wazungu. Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Sasa sisi tukisema Ruto must go tunasema na sauti kabisa, kwa sababu tunataka kumwangusha. Mimi kwa majina naitwa Victoria Bet, natoka hapa Maryland. Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Ruto must go. 7 times we must say Ruto must go. When the children of Israel, they were marching, they wanted the wall to come down, they had to say it loud. Now go. Ruto must 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 go. Thank you.
that shows you we are in a very, very dangerous place.
Ruto must go! 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 Ruto must go!
Huyu ni Zakayo. Lakini anataka kila mtu alipe taxi.
Ashuke!
Bora mwizi. Zakayo afanye nini?
Ashuke!
Shuka 7 times. Zakayo!
Shuka! Shuka! Shuka!
Asante sana.
Asante sana, Victoria. And now we are coming to a close. There were a couple of kids who wanted to speak. I don't know where they are. So wherever you are, I think they're right there by the table. Like just someone tell them to come, wanted to speak. And then there was also a couple of other people who also wanted to speak. This is the time to come. We're about to wrap up. We're very, very close. So come through. And then we're going to have those 2 kids who wanted to speak also come along. Haya, Ruto must go. Zakayo fanya nini? Zakayo fanya nini? All right, thank you so much.
Ruto must go! Ruto must go! Hi, kwa majina naitwa Jacob, kutoka Rift Valley, but I know I'm part of the history. This is gonna be something big.
Yes.
Don't look at the number of people here now utania ni something small.
Yes,
it is
sir.
big. Hata watu wakitania watakaa mpaka 2032, tuko na generation hapa watawatoa.
Yes.
So you are here for a reason. Let's make it important. Let's make it memorable. Now, the weakest link kwangu ni the judiciary. Jana wale watu wenye wako wamemaliza shule and they are MPs, makezi zao zimetupwa. And the reason is the judiciary could not get enough evidence. Between the high courts or the whatever the courts they were doing, the national examination kind of Bali. Okay? They could have ordered those transcripts. It takes a day for that to be determined. So the weakest link, in my opinion, is the judiciary. Another one is my pastors, the church.
Yes.
Leo yule MP mwenye alikuwa amesalimiwa wa Molo. Jana alikuwa ni leo ama jana? Alikuwa anaombewa tena. How can we be salimiaring watu alafu kesho the older generation wanaenda wanamtuliza tena? That cannot be possible.
No.
Endelea kusalimia watu.
Yes.
Watu wasalimiwe wasalimiwe. All right. Those the weakest link. The bishops.
Yes.
Let us put a hold on those fundraising. Makanisa zinaweza ngoja. Kama mtu anaweza patiana 20 million kwa kanisa lakini hawezi patiana 1 million kwa shule. We have inverted priorities. We have to put our house in order. Okay?
Okay.
The bishops, the fundraisings can wait. Let us fight kwanza. Hizo makanisa tunaweza jenga next year. Thank you.
Kanisa zimetosha. Kanisa zimetosha.
Thank you so much. Astoria kanisa ijaisha?
Kanisa zimetosha.
We don't need no more.
Sawa. So we have people, when kids start seeing what's happening, we've gotten to the lowest point. And this is why, it's very important to have your kids here. I really appreciate all those who came with their kids out here, because this is when you get started. This is when they start understanding that you must fight for your justice, and it will not just be given to you on a silver platter. So I'm going to go ahead to give you a chance just to...
9 years old, and what I have to say is Ruto needs to stop killing the innocent people and children.
Yes.
It hurts their friends and family to see them suffer.
Yes.
Ruto must go.
Ruto must go. Ruto must go.
Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Ruto must go.
Ruto must
Go.
Ruto must
Go.
So we are here to tell Mr. Ruto, stop killing us, stop abducting us. If you monopolize parliament, then we as the people, we march to parliament to represent ourselves.
Yes.
We are calling for the freedom of speech. We are calling for the protection protection against torture in any form whatsoever. And we are calling for representation in the August House. We are calling for the constitution of IEBC. Yes. There's no way the constitution allows us to recall MPs and even allows us to call for referendums when we don't have the IEBC reconstituted. Yes. So that is what we are calling for. Yes. Ruto must go! Ruto must go! Ruto must go!
All right, now before I give the mic back to Victoria, to talk on behalf of mothers of Gen Zs, Mukaribia, yeah, wamama mukaribia, because, there are a lot of mothers who are crying today because of their children who were killed. There's a couple of names here. Yeah, there's a couple of names here, but apparently it's being said that it could be more than 200 people who are dead. So let's pay attention to that. And that's why it's important to come out here, because the real soldiers are out there in Kenya, in the different counties of Kenya. They're going out despite the bullets, despite KDF being deployed onto the streets. They're actually going out there and representing us, fighting for our rights. So it's very, very important. Now, there's a couple of people who need to be given red cards. Kipchumba Murkomen. Atoke asitoke. Akwende asikwende. Ashuke asishuke. Oscar Sudi. Asalimiwe asisalimiwe. Atoke asitoke. Akwende asikwende. Ashuke asishuke. John Kerry. Atoke asitoke. Akwende asikwende. Ashuke asishuke.
Graphic design.
Imani Machungwa. Akwende asikwende. Atoke asitoke. Ashuke asishuke. So we have to start having accountability. Yes. Even to your friends who are taking part in the shenanigans when Ruto came here for a state visit. All those people who are buying kitenges and outfits to go and welcome President Ruto, tell them we've forgiven them. Tell them we've forgiven them. They need to join us.
But we'll never forget. We'll never
Only
forget.
this time.
But we never forget.
But we are giving them a chance. We're giving them a chance to say what? Ruto must
go. Sisi tunalia, Zakayo umeua. Alafu tuseme Zakayo ashuke, sawa? Wamama tunasema Zakayo shuka sasa. Wakenya tunalia, Zakayo shuka sasa. Wakenya tunasema Ruto must go. So much. All right, say their names.
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 Rex Masai.
Rex Masai.
Dr. Margaret Oyuga.
Dr. Margaret Oyuga.
Nick Adams.
Nick Adams.
Ian Care.
Ian Care.
Edwin Otieno.
Edwin Otieno.
Bisley Kamau.
Bisley Kamau.
Credo Oyaro.
Credo Oyaro.
Evans Kiratu.
Evans Kiratu.
Frank Okoth.
Frank Okoth.
David Chege.
David Chege.
Belinda Acheng.
Belinda Acheng.
Eric Shini.
Eric Shini.
Erickson Motisia.
Erickson Motisia.
Emmanuel Tata.
Emmanuel Tata.
Ibrahim Kamau.
Ibrahim Kamau.
All right, asanteni sana. I appreciate you guys coming here. there's gonna be more protests happening. We are still working on one this Friday at the International Monetary Fund. That is another monster that needs to be tamed, because they're responsible for these policies not only in Kenya but in so many other African countries. So now imagine American Express or Bank of America sending you a credit card statement of $20,000 saying you bought a watch $20,000 but you've never bought a watch, and they're telling you you must pay it. So these loans that IMF is giving Kenya and other entities, they're going to Kenya, but they're not being used for what they're supposed to be used for, but Kenyans are being forced to pay for them. Tulipe tusilipe? Tutoe tusitoe? Tukate tusikate? So now there's something called odious debt. Odious debt is debt like that one I'm telling you about. American Express has sent you a statement, but you never bought that. You never bought that watch. Sent you a $20,000 statement. So there's so much debt in Kenya that nobody knows what the money was used for. And these are the debts that we need to tell whoever gave it to us, pole sana, you know, like these debts, we've not seen it, we don't know where the money is, and we're not paying. There are some countries that have succeeded in doing that. Yeah. I think Mozambique is one of those countries. They went to court, and so whoever issued that debt, they have to figure out how to get their money. So I think that's what we need to do. Yeah. We don't have, you know, like our issue is not a debt problem, we have an expenditure problem. Yes. We have budgeted corruption, and that's what we need to figure out. So all of you stay tuned. Those who are not in the WhatsApp group, please see one of the organizers. Go to the WhatsApp group. We plan to have another protest at the IMF. Hopefully, do you know what's the date next Sunday? Is there anybody who knows what the date is next Sunday? Saba Saba, yes. And Saba Saba is a very, very important date. So there might be something coming. This will be 4th of July weekend. A lot of people come to the DMV. So we are hoping to get a lot of people to come through so that we can, at least if the one at the IMF works, we plan to go to the White House. Yes. Because the White House has been what? Complicit. Yes. You saw how they wined and dined him a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. I hope none of you was there. Were you guys there? Were you guys? But even if you're there, what have we done? We have forgiven you. If you know your friends went there, you know, for good vibes and Instagram, tell them they are forgiven. Other than that, asanteni sana. Let's go to the other side to take pictures, chanting, Ruto must go. 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 Zakayo, shute sishute. Shute sishute. Kwende sikwende. Haya, watu wajifanye, Yeah, be close to the embassy. You guys paid for this.